I still really like look forward to doing this and enjoy doing this. Like this morning I was kind of feeling like I was dragging my heels a little bit and just starting the day and getting the day going, which I have been talking about a little bit on my Instagram about kind of what I do. And I've talked a lot about being really ADHD there. Um, so I guess I don't need to talk about that here, but I also feel like maybe I could. I like having one space, my Substack, where I can make videos like this, I can write, I can post photos if I want. Like, I like having it be just one space that I can kind of have my stream of what I want to put out more kind of creatively. I think it's interesting. I've been thinking a lot about influencing this morning and kind of like how that ties into what I'm doing here because I think, yeah, um, I'm gonna put a pin in the whole influencing conversation. But yeah, I really look forward to this space. I like that it can kind of be flexible to what I want to put out into the world. Um, I, I think it's been interesting. Um, it's not a place where like it's really designed for an audience as much, I don't think. My the way that I've been using Substack is as a place for me to create and put things that I'm creating, but I don't feel like it's a place where I'm really doing a lot of consuming. I also feel like so much of what I'm reading from people is really long, which I think is speaks to my desire to put videos on here. Um, and also, yeah, I feel like it also speaks to this idea that maybe this is a place for people to um, share and put what they want out, but maybe like not as much consumption is happening because I know like I'm not probably not going to read a very long article. That being said, that could just be because I'm kind of like in a vacuum of consuming very, very short form, instant gratification, digital fentanyl, to reference what I was talking about yesterday. Although I don't know that that actually got into the video that I posted. Like I recorded two videos and I don't think that they all made made it to Substack, all the everything I talked about. So in summary, basically what I was talking about is how um how an app like TikTok, specifically TikTok being referred to as digital fentanyl, and how that's like a public health crisis. So the way to solve, like if we extend the fentanyl example, you're not just gonna take fentanyl away from all people all at once. That would cause a massive public health crisis. So this whole like TikTok ban, I mean, they were never going to be able to completely, you know, get rid of TikTok. I think the ban probably did do a lot of good for people who were more actively wanting to curb that behavior. But yeah, I mean, it's really interesting how digital services, digital tools play into public health, which there's a whole body of work and research in that area of yeah digital products and public health. Um, but yeah, I guess actually very related about the topic of influencing. I think it's obviously, I think influencer has become very clearly a dirty word at this point. Influencer means something really negative no matter what. And yeah, as someone who grew up with the internet and also kind of like watched the rise of influencers happen, I think there is something genuine about wanting to share yourself and your life with others online, and specifically like talking about stuff. I talked about this also a little bit in other videos that I don't think got posted because the video died, but um talking about stuff, I think that there's this like self-righteousness that I see in a lot of people who I love and care about. This self-righteousness of anti-consumption, under-consumption, non-consumption, and I think that at the heart of that is like this question um of whether we should continue building period. Meaning, should we continue building the future? Should we continue building the world? Or should we just watch what happens and allow things to kind of be as they are? And the word I use a lot is rewilding. So I think those people who I love and care about really are passionate about rewilding, which to me feels very similar to like noble savagery, which is a term from anthropology, but basically this idea that there is a pure human state that we can return to, that there is some sort of like yeah, like pure humanity that we can just like return to the Garden of Eden. So yeah, this past summer I went to a design conference, and I was introduced to the term undevelopment, which I do really like. I think that is a similar concept to rewilding. It's also related to permaculture and just all of these tenets of doing less to do more for the earth. And I see the beauty in that. I see the importance of that. But I also think that from the standpoint of like building, I don't think we can move into the future without continuing to build and frankly continue to manufacture goods. I don't think there's a way that we can do that. And I think that, you know, it's funny because like I kind of want to talk to someone who has the backstory of who has context for things, I think, and but obviously speaking into a void, you don't really have that. So I was just starting to go down the rabbit hole of, well, maybe not a rabbit hole, but I was just starting to talk about so in terms of undevelopment and permaculture, and whether or not we need to keep building and manufacturing. The example I use a lot about where I was going that any person on the internet wouldn't have the context of me using this example is police reform. I think this is the clearest one. This has been the clearest example for me of what happens with our political beliefs and how we communicate them and how we exist in the world. So if you are someone who says abolish the police, and you say I believe in police abolition, removing all police force, you might know, as someone who says abolish the police, you might know that actually abolishing all police is not possible, that society would not be able to function without police. So two options. You might actually genuinely believe that we should abolish the police and that is how society can best function, is with no police, and we can self-govern or community manage, whatever you want to say, abolish the police. You might also be someone who says abolish the police, knowing that that's not possible, but that police reform isn't possible without someone standing and saying, yes, abolish the police. Like, you might know that might never happen, but if you don't hold your stance of the most extreme of the spectrum, that a reform won't happen. So similarly to that, you might hold the stance of rewilding or undevelopment, or an extreme, like we must return to the earth and we must be rewilded. You might hold that stance knowing that would never be possible, but as a toe the line of the extreme opinion and the extreme stance, so that some mediated reform is possible. I guess for me, I don't know. I don't think I have my extreme. I think I need to just decide what my extreme stance is, where I'm like, I'm never going to be someone who believes in that far, far, far extreme, I don't think. Maybe it's related to work. Maybe the extreme is, no, I don't think I could really get behind that either. Yeah, I don't think I have an extreme left or right belief. I think I really am just averagely in the middle, and I just kind of, yeah, I think I guess that I have more work to do there about kind of like what I'm willing to stand on some far ledge to advocate for, Or maybe I don't have that. But I do feel really passionate about alternative economies. I always have been, I think. So the undevelopment mindset would speak to the circular economy or the green economy or alternate economies in general. The sharing economy. And I do really subscribe to that and support that. I just don't think that the world at large can survive on that alone. And I think the idea that it has ever survived on that is not accurate. I think that ever since there's been civilizations, there's been larger structures than just the sharing economy. And so, yeah, I think this opens up, again, I feel like 11 minutes goes by really, really quickly when you start getting into the things that you want to talk about. But I think it's just really interesting how we kind of balance the knowledge that superstructures for society probably will always continue, and we can't really do a lot about that, and we're only just little old us, but also wanting to have beliefs that kind of like wanting to, I don't know, wanting to believe in a better future and what that looks like. So yeah, this was a nice way to spend some time in my morning, and I wish I had more time, and I guess it kind of makes me want to build out a paper or something that I've put more thought into. But yeah.